For those watching, right, what is the one thing that they can do to begin that process of biohacking? Because we'll get into your processes in the next segment, but just as a pointer for people who lead very busy lives or just being introduced to this concept, what is the one thing that they can do?
It's an easy answer, and it's sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'll explain there's 5 things. So I'll do this with you. So I'm going to try to get you to commit to me that you're going to prioritize sleep in your life. These 5 habits.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing for you to do is to remap your identity that you are a professional sleeper.
Okay.
Now that's different because right now you probably go to bed like when you want or when you're done or when you're done watching a movie or like it's just kind of like whenever. And so when you're a professional sleeper, you take sleep as seriously as you do your podcast.
Right.
You're on time, right? You hold yourself to a high standard.
It's like professional.
Yeah, you want to be excellent. Like so that's you need to think about sleep in the same way.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2 is your final meal of the day needs to be 2 hours before bedtime, if not more.
Okay.
So I currently do 9 hours before bedtime. So I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. My last meal of the day is around 11 a.m.
Really?
And so when I do that, my resting heart rate is 44. So it's very low. It's almost like an elite athlete. And when it's 44, I'm guaranteed a perfect night's sleep. Now, if I eat later in the day or I eat something like carbs, like breads or pastas, my heart rate will be 55 to 60 and my sleep will reduce by 40%. So last meal of the day, 2 hours, if not earlier, but experiment with 3 hours before, 4, 5, 6, 7. Find what's right for you. But you'll find the earlier and lighter you eat, the better your sleep's going to be.
Okay.
3 is light in your environment. So you don't want blues.
Yeah.
You want red light, ambers, like oranges. So about an hour or so before bed, try to eliminate all screens and all blue lights in your house and just do the red and ambers. 4 is consistency. So what time's your bedtime? What time do you want to make your bedtime?
I think like 10 would be good. Yeah, 10:30. Yeah. No.
So try to be in bed every night, plus or minus 30 minutes at 10 o'clock. So 9:30 to 10:30 every night.
Okay.
So if you do a social affair, like try to plan ahead.
Yeah.
When I was doing my world's best sleep score, I was doing within 1 minute. And
what does that mean?
I would go to bed in between 8:29 and 8:31. Sharp. Like I was that precise.
Wow.
And I will tell you, it was unbelievable how good my body became at sleep. So 8:29 would strike and my body would be like, it's time. And I would just lay down and be knocked out.
That's like a dream scenario, right? Because most people, what they do is they lay in bed and cannot sleep.
Exactly.
Or sleep comes in very many fragments. It's not like consistent, deep sleep that you get, especially to train your mind to think that, okay, this is the time I need to sleep when I'm in bed, is extremely difficult for people to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like to give you an example of how good it was, it still is so I would be asleep within 2 minutes. I would be getting 2 hours of REM and 2 hours of deep. I wouldn't get up the entire night. And it would just like sleep straight through the night. And so.
And you wake up without any kind of alarm or any kind of external.
Just all natural. Wow. And I wake up feeling refreshed and I feel excited and energetic. And so the body has this incredible power to sleep.
Yeah.
And it struggles to do so when you're not consistent, when you're drinking alcohol, when you're eating late food, when you have blue light. And so like when I came here, actually I flew here on Singapore Airlines.
Okay.
I flew business class.
Yeah.
And so you walk in the airplane and the first thing they give you is alcohol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like.
That's consistent practice across airlines. Yeah.
So it wrecks your sleep. And then you sit down and then you take off and they serve you a meal.
Yeah.
Right before sleep.
Yeah.
And then as you eat your meal, you have a screen in front of you that is blue light. So like.
Everything is just like, don't sleep.
It's wreckage. And so it's funny because like here you have wealth.
Yeah.
Like people who have money are paying to basically achieve unhealth. Like it's basically luxury die.
Right.
And so it just like is an example of like our practices are so off. So number 5, and this is important for someone like yourself especially, is a wind down routine.
Okay.
So at 9 o'clock, your wind down routine commences, which means your sleep mode is important. So for example, for me, so at 7:30 p.m., Sleep Bryan's in charge. So that means Sleep Bryan puts on armor and a shield, and it's like, you shall not pass. And then at 7:31, a thought's going to come in. I'm going to say, Bryan, hey Bryan, I have a new idea about a new thing we can build with the business.
Yeah.
So, and I have to say, Sleep Bryan says, thank you, ambitious Bryan. You're doing a wonderful job at life. We really appreciate you. We are going to write this down, and then tomorrow we have all day to work on this. Thank you. And then anxious Bryan will say, you know what, today in that podcast, you said that thing that was potentially really offensive. They probably hate you, right? Thank you, anxious Bryan. We appreciate you letting us know that we need to reconcile this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to write this thing down. We have all day tomorrow to kind of think this thing through. But you have to go through this ritualistic process because your brain is trying to reconcile the day. It's like, what did we do well? What mistakes did we make? Or what are we mad about? Who do we need to talk to? Like, right, all the things. Yeah. If you don't reconcile, you go to bed and you're laying down on the pillow and your brain's like, I'm not ready to go to bed yet because I haven't reconciled the day.
Yeah.
And that's when you spin. So then even if you do fall asleep, you're going to wake up and pop into that light sleep as you then, again, ruminate all night long.
Right.
And so when you put these 5 habits together of you're serious as a professional sleeper, you eat early and lighter, you have the right lighting environment, you're consistent, and you do this wind down routine, you put your body in a situation where it is powerfully ready to sleep.
Okay.
And then you overcome this thing where most people think, if I sleep, I'm falling behind. If I sleep, I'm not working as hard as other people. If I sleep, I'm not going to be as successful. Like this worry. But what you'll find is prioritizing sleep will give you more energy and power in life than anything you could ever do. So it really is like the absolute number one thing everybody should do, and everyone can win at it. It's free.
Right, of course. What about things like right before you sleep, right? Like just to go a little bit deeper in the wind down routine, people like reading a book.
Yes.
I mean, obviously there is Netflix and all of those things that you could watch, which I already know that you shouldn't be doing. But like, what about reading a book or conversing with a partner?
Yeah.
Are those things, do they stimulate you as well, or is that okay?
They're great. Yeah.
Okay.
So reading a book actually performs as well as sleep meds.
Yeah.
So read a book, meditate, breath work, go for a walk, take a bath, see a friend, talk to a friend.
Okay.
You don't want to have fights. So if you're with a partner, you don't want to be fighting the hour before bed. You want to be calming your body down.
Right.
So yeah, but those are all great activities.
Okay.